Welcome to Holistic Kids Show. My name is Zane.
My name's Abdullah.
And my name's Iman.
We're the Holistic Kids here to educate us kids from the inside out. Superman, Batman, Iron Man. What do all of these people have in common?
They're all superheroes.
They make the city better and stronger.
Did you know food can also be superheroes?
Really? How?
Well, food is information. Food influences your genes. Food regulates millions of pathways in your body that is needed for your body to work well. The right types of food love your body and makes it stronger and more powerful. But the food that really shouldn't be called food because it's very low quality food, like substances, can make your body very unhealthy and very sad.
Kids deserve real high quality whole food. We need superfoods. Foods that will all of us kids will make all of us kids superheroes.
Oh, I want to become Superman.
And today we have the perfect guests with us today. Haley and Tarek Pacha. I don't know how to spell your last name. How do you pronounce your last name?
Pasha and Scheich. Scheich. Yep, you're doing a great job. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Haley, Scheich, and Tarek Pacha are the founders of My Superhero Foods, a wellness brand that teaches families about the powers of whole foods. They co-authored the children's book, My Superhero Foods, to help inspire children's curiosities about healthy eating. Haley's fascination with nutrition started in 2008 when she was introduced to yoga. Over the years, she has poured hundreds of books, thousands of articles, and anything where she can find optimal nutrition tips and tricks. And Tarek is a leading men's health expert and a holistic urologist. He's treated thousands of patients over the last decade, and through his patients, he's learned that the right food choices can prevent, reverse, and even heal disease. Haley and Tarek live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in a blended family with 6 kids ages 1 to 17, and they plan to release their second children's book, My Superhero Sleep, in late 2022. We are so honored for you to be here with us today. We would love to know both of your stories. We love your mission.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
It's our pleasure.
It's our pleasure.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, we're like you. We're like you guys learned much sooner than we did. I grew up eating Lucky Charms and Pop Tarts, and I don't know
Toaster strudels.
I don't know if do you guys know any of those type of foods?
Yes.
Yeah, animal crackers. I thought I was doing good when I ate the graham crackers because there was graham in it, So that's all we knew. Skittles, it was okay because there was no fat in it. There was a lot of bad information out there when we were young, and we didn't really know better. We just kind of ate whatever. And, our parents did the best they could, but they didn't know that much as well. And it's really cool that you guys are putting on a show or putting on a podcast that teaches kids how to eat right, because when you eat right, and you will become super. You'll think better. You'll move better. You'll perform better, and you'll be a leg up on so many other people just by simply utilizing food as like a superpower, or even a really, really powerful medicine. I know sometimes when we think about medicine, we think like, oh, yuck. No, when we talk about medicine, we were talking about being well, thinking well, moving well, solving puzzles, sleeping well, and all these things. So we're really much aligned with you guys, and we're happy to be here to share a little bit of our story as well. I mean, that's kind of what we Haley and I were really, really, really passionate about this.
Mm-hmm.
We love your book. We read that as soon as we got it.
Oh, good. What's your guys' favorite superhero foods?
I really like
dates. I like dates.
I like the
Hey, that's Tarek's favorite too.
That's always nice.
He likes figs. He likes the figs.
Yeah. 2 good ones. We're happy you guys like it. It's actually the characters in there are alias characters to 2 of our kids.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
And it's like, oh, what?
So now let's get to the point. How can I become a Superman?
Ooh, how can you become a superhero?
Ooh.
Well, it sounds like I've been watching you guys in your videos, and it sounds like you guys are well on your way to being superheroes, based on what your mama and maybe even your dad has taught you. So you guys know all about the superhero foods, right?
Yes.
I'm a doctor, and you guys know more about nutrition than probably I did. I had to learn it later on. We didn't really get taught this in school, nor I really even got taught this in medical school. Maybe your mom can even attest to the fact or tell you that when she was in medical school, that we didn't get much knowledge about food and the power of food, and how the earlier you get it, the earlier you learn, the better it adds up. It adds up, and then you'll see incredible superpowers.
And another thing too, that our kids do is they really tune into their bodies. So for example, if they're at a birthday party and they have maybe too many cupcakes, then they come home, they're like, oh man, my stomach hurts, or I don't feel that great. And then they kind of know, okay, wow, well, sugar doesn't, if I have too much of it, it hurts my stomach. Whereas if you eat your figs and your dates, gives you some energy, probably makes you feel pretty good. So that's another thing we're trying to teach kids too, is just the importance of realizing when you eat how you feel differently when you eat maybe a thing of Pringles or when you eat some
kale chips.
Kale chips. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we love kale chips and lots of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you guys love the kale
love
chips?
seaweed.
And which ones?
Seaweed.
Oh,
The
seaweed.
seaweed.
Yeah. I think I saw you guys post that. You guys do the nori too. And I noticed you got the brand that doesn't have the seed oils either, which is great. The avocado oil brand.
That's impressive.
Yes.
Impressive.
Why superhero foods are so important?
So important. You want to answer this one, babe? Or?
Well, like you just mentioned earlier, that food is information. So anytime we put something in our mouth, it connects with, or it talks to our cells. Not just our cells, it talks to we have these reactions that happen in our body, about 27 billion per second. So all these reactions go on in our body to make us think better, to move better, to carry out our duties. And each time we eat something, it affects the way that these reactions occur. And if it's kind of like a car. If you have a really nice car, you don't want to put gunk in your car, or you don't want to put like Coke in the engine, or like the gasoline fuse. You want to put good, high quality gas, so the car will go very fast and smooth. Our body, it's even more complicated than a car. We want our gas, our fuel is food that we take in, and it can really change every second. We're either getting healthier or getting weaker. It's never the same. You're either getting stronger or you're getting weaker. When you eat those Pringles, you get a little weaker. When you eat the kale chips and the grass-fed meat and the veggies, you get stronger and stronger, and a little bit of improvement day by day, you will have tremendously huge results.
That's why we like to teach our kids that, every day, ideally you have 3 opportunities, a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner, to choose to fuel your body. And we try to teach them to choose the most nourishing foods. So for example, cereal, it doesn't have a lot of like nutrients in it. It doesn't have a lot of, or really any healthy fats or protein that's going to help our muscles get stronger. But if we choose, for example, eggs or yogurt, those are all foods that have all these nutrients, are very nutrient dense. And like Tarek was saying, that just really adds up over time. So each meal we have an opportunity to really put those nutrient dense foods into our body versus other ones.
That is amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So our research team actually studied data from almost 9,000 children. That's a lot of children.
That's a lot of children.
A lot of children.
In over 50 schools, and found out that children who eat more fruit and veggies have better mental health. And just last week, a study came out on Ohio State University. They found out that more fruits and veggies, kids were able to focus better on school and exams and tests and all of this kind of stuff. So fruits and veggies really do make a difference, both
They
physically and mentally.
they make a huge difference. And I'm sure as your mom has taught you guys, there's so much more research, like you're saying, that's coming out on our gut. And in fact, you guys have a book on that, which is amazing, that talks about the gut buddies. And, a lot of people are saying our gut is our second brain. And so it just makes a lot of sense that when we're feeding our gut really nutrient dense foods like fruits and veggies, like you're saying, it just then kind of responds. We see it showing up in our brain and our mood and how we feel, and of course, how we do in school.
We all know if we feel better, we make better decisions.
Mm-hmm.
When we make better decisions, we have better actions. When we have better actions, we have better habits. And if we have better habits, we become successful. Does that make sense? So it's very important to really to make you do whatever you can to feel better. And one of the biggest ways of doing that with sleep and connection and food, you will be feeling better and you'll make better decisions, better choices. When you're mad or angry, not a good idea to make a decision because you're going to probably make a bad decision. So my advice when you're angry is just kind of keep the mouth quiet, maybe wash your face a little bit, sometimes go for a walk, We don't make good decisions when we're angry or when we're hungry or when we eat really sugary foods. We're not able to focus and concentrate as well and make good decisions.
So you have younger kids, right? And how do you teach them to choose healthier options?
That's a good question. So I can start, and I think the first thing that we do, because we do have a baby who she's 15 months, so she's a year old. We call her the baby still. But what we try to do is really protect her taste buds. So you guys know that there's ingredients out there and foods in the grocery store aisle. And you're looking at the back and you're reading the ingredients and you see all this stuff that looks kind of more like a science experiment than it does actual foods. And a lot of these, including things as simple as natural flavors. These are kind of hijacking our taste buds, and they're making us prefer these fake, unnatural tastes versus the tastes of real, delicious foods. And so one of the first things that we do is just try to protect those little guys' taste buds as much as possible, especially initially on. So we give her a lot of whole foods, real foods, fruits and veggies, and grass-fed meat and eggs. And we're not giving her a lot of the processed foods that contain those artificial ingredients and those natural flavors that will take over her taste buds, so that she learns to, as silly as it sounds, but she learns to really enjoy a taste or a flavor like a lemon. It sounds kind of silly, but that's a flavor that she loves right now while we're still protecting her taste buds. Then, of course, as you guys know, as you get older, you go over to friends' houses, and there's lots of different foods that you're kind of exposed to. So it gets a little bit harder, but we can still make home a place where, as much real and whole foods served as possible.
You could do an experiment, guys. Go. Well, you might not want to do this. Get a spoon of ice cream or like a brownie, something really sweet, and go eat a blueberry. How does the blueberry taste after you eat, a cookie or a brownie? The blueberry or even the pineapple or a mango tastes pretty awful. But if you stay away from these very artificial, sweet types of foods, your taste buds that are located on the tongue will learn to appreciate the beautiful sweetness of a date or a blueberry or a pineapple or a mango or a papaya. But if you're constantly eating this really rich, fake, sugary type of food, you won't. How would you ever prefer a blueberry over a Snicker bar or an ice cream sandwich? Anyone will prefer that, right? If you had an ice cream sandwich or a blueberry, and you guys know better, but people that don't, and sometimes we make mistakes and we sometimes eat those foods, but it does mess up our taste buds.
Yeah, I love lemon too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do. I suck at
Wow. Do you like lemonade better or just a plain lemon?
a plain lemon.
That's awesome. Yeah. My daughter will just take lemons and just eat them too. She'll squeeze them in her mouth and she'll love it.
So, what do you do when you go out to eat or go to parties? Because you said that you try to keep it maintained at home, but what do you teach them about when they go outside of home?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to create an unhealthy relationship with other foods for the kids. And so I think the biggest thing that we do is we just allow them to kind of to learn on their own. So, for example, if we're out at a birthday party, of course, they're going to have birthday cake. Now, if it's a birthday party we're throwing, we're making a cake and we're choosing certain, higher quality ingredients. But if they're out and they have the cake, we let them just kind of enjoy the moment, enjoy that dessert. And if they eat some of it and they feel great because it's, they're in a good setting, that's great. Sometimes they may eat too much and they'll quickly learn like, wow, 2 pieces of cake hurts my belly. I won't do that next time. But I think, letting them go out and kind of learn on their own is good. And then also, oh, that's a good question. I had another thought and I lost it. Babe, do you want to chime in? And then I can probably come back to that thought.
I think pretty much I echo what Haley says. I mean, the idea is we have to model it, right? A lot of times they're watching what we're doing. If we're, downing the cake or eating a lot of cake, they're going to want to follow what their parents are doing, typically when you're younger. So I think at the beginning is when we're like your guys' age, and when you see like good examples like your parents, it motivates you to do well. And if you have a piece or two, it's not the end of the world. However, you realize, okay, this is something special, and we don't overindulge. My son, he was drinking a Sprite, and he looked at the back and he said, "Oh my God, there's 18 grams of sugar." So he said, "I'm only going to drink a half of it." Now I was proud of him. I didn't tell him, I didn't say he couldn't drink it. He himself came to that conclusion. So he had a little bit, but he's aware it's a problem, can be a problem if it's done too much. So I think awareness, like she said, experimenting, you're going to try a little bit. At the end of the day, it's not going to be a big deal. Our bodies are really super and that they can get rid of a lot of that as long as we don't overdo it.
Yeah, and I think we just we don't put a lot of attention on certain foods that are out there that aren't as nourishing, but then we put a lot of attention on the foods that are super nourishing. So, for example, avocados are full of good monounsaturated fat that is going to help us absorb, other vitamins from the other fruits and veggies that we eat. It's going to give us prolonged energy. In the book, we share how it makes you jump higher. And so we really focus on those foods and all of the powers of those. And then I think kind of kids can connect the dots of like, oh, okay, this food giving me power. This is it. I'll eat this food a little bit. I'm going to eat these foods a lot.
That is amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, because we have a lot of people that say, well, I don't want to go and revert to all of the organic foods at once. I'm going to miss all the old foods. So we like to say, take steps. Like one day, maybe you can have the Sprite, and then you can but don't have the Sprite all the time. You can also have some of this. It's good to take steps.
I like that approach a lot. There's a book that we read and we recommend a lot too, called Sugar Proof, and they talk about that too. A lot of times it just can't happen overnight, and so you're exactly right. Like taking small steps, and those small steps that you take each day really add up. So I think that's a wonderful point.
And you need to make it a family affair. You really need to make the environment, everyone's on board. It's much more difficult if like you want to do it, but your dad's eating, Frosted Flakes, and you're trying to eat, and and your sister's eating, Twix. I mean, if you can if you can set up your environment, the people around you and the stuff around you it will help. So steps and really cleaning up the environment and making it a family affair.
So the more bad bugs you have in your gut, the more you crave white things or like sugar and artificial stuff. And the more good bugs you have, the more you crave good things like veggies, fruits, grass-fed meat, fats, nuts, all of these kinds of foods that will really help your gut and improve your body. So why is junk food so bad for kids? I mean, it might like a lot of people say, well, it's fine. It won't make a dent. It'll just probably like chip a little bit, but it won't actually throw my entire system off balance. But can it actually affect your life forever?
I think that's really well said, and I think it can. We talk a lot. So let's just start. At a very basic level, we talk a lot about creating a healthy breakfast. So to your point, if you start the day off with a sugary breakfast, you're likely to then, well, first of all, you're going to have the sugar high where you're kind of feeling crazy and a ton of energy, and then you're going to crash and probably feel tired, and you don't want that in school, especially. But you're also going to want and crave more sugar. And so we talk about building a breakfast that is full of healthy fats and clean protein, and it really sets you up for the day in terms of sustained energy, focus at school, a stable mind, a stable mood. And so I think that at its simplest form is why junk food can be so bad, is that, it's just when you start eating it, then it's just like kind of like takes you off course for your entire day. But then even going further to more of a scientific level, what we're learning is that a lot of these ingredients that are in food, so we talk about, when you have a product and then you read the back and you see all the ingredients that are in it, and it may look more like a science lab experiment that you guys see at school than an actual food. And what we're learning is that some of these ingredients are actually really scary, and they can they can be cancer causing. They can actually change the DNA in our bodies. And so even at a young age, if we start eating this early on, we may not see it initially, but then over time we start to see different health ailments, and we start to feel sicker. And, by the time we're in our 40s or 50s, which is a long way for you guys, but we're really feeling just run down and unhealthy. And I think a lot of it has to do with these ingredients that just accumulate in our body. So I think that is a lot of the danger. And then, I don't know, do you want to add anything else, babe?
I think well said. There's not much to add other than what we do now is going to affect our future self. So what you are now, guys, is what you've done in the past. And if you want to get better, you've got to do something different, right? Because what you did now is not going to get you there. So developing good habits, eating well is going to it's going to affect your future self. So if you eat junk food, unfortunately, you're not going to be a super, or you're not going to realize all those potentials that you could be. You may do fine, but it is going to affect you on the long run if you continue to eat in a poor way. We know this, as the studies you were mentioning, it affects your focus. Therefore, you start not liking school, and you have discipline problems. Maybe you get kicked out of school, or maybe maybe you start hating school more, and then the next grade you hate even worse, and then you have this very bad spiral. We call it a vicious downward spiral, and then before you know it, you don't even care about school, and you could have done really well if it was something as simple as a good, healthy breakfast. So it does make a big difference. We don't know exactly, but it definitely makes a big difference.
Yeah, and studies show that kids who ate ultra-processed foods had 10% smaller brains and 7 points lower IQ. And junk food shapes adolescents' brain in ways they impair their ability to think, learn, remember, perform lower on memory tests, even control impulsive behaviors, increasing risk of teenage depression and anxiety. That's so crazy how basically all of these junk foods, they shrink your brain.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
I love what you guys are doing, because you guys are really spreading the word, because a lot of people don't know this.
So we need to focus on superhero foods. What are your family's favorite superhero foods?
All right, so let's see. Tarek's our dates, hands down, is our dates. I love grass-fed meat. I eat it and it makes me feel really strong and nourished. So our son Niam, his absolute favorite is coconut. He likes coconut everything. Let's see. The baby Thureya's is, what would it be hers?
Eggs, maybe?
Maybe eggs. Yeah, she loves eggs. And then let's see, Mira's, what is she like?
She likes kale chip.
Yeah, she definitely likes her leafy greens. She likes her kale chips.
Hmm.
She likes avocados. And then let's see, Talia. What does Talia like? I don't think we, well, let's see. What do we have? I was going to say cheese for her, but we don't have cheese in the book.
So probably maybe I mean, she loves grass-fed meat.
Yeah, she does. Ken's loves fruit.
Yeah.
And Jude loves everything. I think every food is a superhero food. He loves every one of them. So we have a wide variety of favorites.
That is amazing.
Amazing.
That was amazing. What is one thing kids can do today to get closer to become a superhero?
Oh, good question. Let's see. What can they do? So, I think, well, we have this book out and we have 2 more books coming, and we're kind of talking about all of the pillars of success. And these are things that we've learned as we got older. So we learned in our 30s and we wished we learned it as kids. And so that's why we're writing these books. And much like you guys are doing your show, which is amazing, to teach kids really early on all the benefits of these things. So I would say trying to eat as many superhero foods as you can. One of our favorite things to do is be part of a local CSA. So so basically we work with local farmers, and each week we get their produce that they grew organically and that they just picked fresh or harvested fresh. So focusing on, if we can, local, fresh superfoods. Also, another one is really protecting our sleep. So we tell our kids that so much good happens when you're sleeping. Our brain gets cleaned up, our body grows, our body heals. And so really protecting our sleep and getting as many hours of sleep as we can. And then also another one is movement. So getting outside, moving, getting your natural morning sun, breathing in the fresh air, and just, having fun being kids. Go outside and play. Versus maybe sitting inside and playing the video games all day. So I would say those are 3 things that kids can do to become superheroes. I kind of stole a lot of them, but do you have anything to add?
I would add just one thing. Try to avoid, all kids out there, avoid liquid sugar. Like stay away from Coke, pop, orange juice, a lot of these things that we are told are healthy. A lot of even some of the milk out in the conventional milk out there, these aren't as healthy as what's being advertised to us. So like things like sugar in liquid, you can really try to avoid that or really limit it as much as you can. You'll be on a great step towards becoming a superhero.
That's a great suggestion. And that too, guys, as you know, includes even like your fruit juices. So all the orange juices, instead of drinking orange juice, eat an orange, or instead of drinking lemonade, eat a lemon.
Yeah, I used to think apple juice was very healthy. I used to feed my son when he was young a lot of apple juice, thinking I was doing good for him. And in reality, it's not. It causes cavities and all kinds of problems. Water is much better. Or giving them the apples instead of the apple juice.
Yeah, so each kid has their own water bottle. Do you guys have water bottles?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Everyone has their own water bottle, and they carry it with them throughout the day and just drink as much water as they can. And that's usually what they drink, is water or raw milk.
And one last thing is don't worry about if you make a mistake, right?
Yeah.
You get up the next day, you try again. We're not going to be perfect. We're not going to do everything right. We don't have perfect days every day in our house, but we do the best we can. And we just get back on and do every day. Just try to get a little bit better, and don't beat yourself up.
Yeah. Well said.
You are so empowering.
Empowering.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So are you guys.
As you are very inspirational. Thank you.
You guys are doing really good work. Thank you for what you're doing.
It's our pleasure.
It's our pleasure. So where can people learn more about you and your work?
So I guess one of the first places that you could go is our website. So it's www.mysuperherofoods.com. And on that we have Oh, we have lots of information. We have blogs on certain popular topics. We have a resource guide. We plan to do a resource guide in every single superhero food for the people that want even more information to know, all of the vitamins that are in an egg, but then also practical stuff of what you want to look for in eggs, how you can buy them in a cost-effective way, save money. So we have resource guides on each of the foods. And then also newest is on some of the artificial ingredients that we kind of talked about today. And then what else do we have on the web? Just lots of good stuff on the website. And then our Instagram feed too. We have some posts on there that kind of talk about themed stuff. This month we're focusing on artificial ingredients, so you'll find lots of information on that. But I'd say those are the two big places: our website and our Instagram page.
Leslie, thank you so much. That was so empowering. Everyone, make sure to get my super.
This book today.
You guys.
Amazon.
On Amazon. This book is must have for everyone households. Please follow them on social media.
Thank
Let's
you.
Miss Haley and Dr. Tarek's key points.
Kids deserve real, high-quality whole foods. Nutrients regulate every single chemical reaction in your child's body. Our bodies are so more complicated than a car, and they put so put good foods in your bodies to get stronger. Studies have shown that those children that eat a rainbow of whole foods packed with color, fiber, nutrients, minerals, good fats, also have healthier brains, less violent, improved behavior, and improves your body. Superhero foods can help lower work better, fight sickness, and lower inflammation, and optimize the immune system. Feed the good friends in their bellies, get rid of toxins, and are packed with antioxidants.
These choose the most nutrient-dense foods every day and every meal. Connect with your superhero foods. We focus on veggies, clean protein, and healthy fats in each meal.
Mhm.
Tune into your body. Feel how your body feels with superhero foods in your body, and feel how bad food can affect you.
Eat more real superhero foods and slowly start to decrease fake evil enemy foods like sugar, processed foods, artificial and junk foods, especially avoid liquid sugar.
Make it a family affair. Parents role model. Parents role model adding superhero foods in your diet because you guys actually do as you do, not as you say.
And protect your sleep and get movement. Guys, lots of good things happen during your sleep.
It is okay if you make a mistake. Do the best you can.
And the next day, try to fix that mistake, and you can rise to the challenge and get even better.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
For joining us today. We are so honored.
Honored.
As we are.
As
Very
we are,
honored.
yes,
Honored.
honored.
And you guys are amazing.
Amazing.
Hey, that's how I think.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Zanzari.
I'm Dula.
And I'm Mom.
Follow my family and I on social media, Holistic Mom D, and look out for my mom's book, Holistic RX, Your Guide to Chronic Inflammation and Disease, and the amazing children's book we wrote together called Adam's Healing Adventure. So check it out on Amazon. Yay! We have a special gift for everyone listening because we are almost at our 2-year mark. We want to give you all our special dessert cookbook. We know most kids love sweets, so we put our favorite recipes just for you. Check it out in the description of this podcast, wherever it is. Like literally wherever it is.
Looks
Kids
good.
need to learn from other kids. Please download our podcast in iTunes and leave a review so other kids and families can benefit. We need to work together to create a healthy future for all of us and the planet. Join us next week for another episode of the Holistic Kid Show, where kids are empowering kids. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.